theyeshiva.net.
Okay, today we'll begin a new mimer, Be'ezer Hashem. It's really hard to go away from the last mimer about Toya and Tikkun coming together in the place of Anochi. But the only way forward to continue the mimer would be through silence and meditation, hisbonenus. That's the next step of the last mimer. Since the shir is usually made up of words, for good or for whatever, l'tov l'mutav, so therefore we'll continue with a new mimer. 1, 2, 2. Thank you for the kelim, Rabbi Litzmer. 1, 2, 2. On top it says Beshalach, so it's this week's Parsha. The mimer on the left column, Vayaar Yisroel Esayad Hagdoilo, or Samach Aleph, column 4. The mimer from Tovkov Samach Vav. Tovkov Samach Vav would be 1806. Vayaar Yisroel Esayad Hagdoilo Asher Asa Hashem b'Mitzrayim Vayiru Amas Hashem V'Yaminu B'Hashem B'Moshe Avdoi. The words that are used are Yud Kei Vav Kei, and the way the Balatanya referred to that name was Havaya. Havaya is, of course, the letters of Hey and Vav and Yud and Hey, which is just a different configuration of the 4 original letters. So that's why the language here in the Maimon, Vayaar Yisroel Sayod HaGdol Asher Asa Havaya b'Mitzrayim, Vayiru Amas Havaya, V'Yaminu B'Havaya B'Moshe Avdoi. The literal translation is, this is the scene immediately following the parting of the sea. The sea parts, the Jewish people, the Bnei Yisrael, cross through the sea. The Egyptians pursue them inside the sea, which has become dry land, and the water returns back to its original location, obliterating all of the troops who came to pursue the Jews and re-enslave them. And the Jews walked through the dry land, which has been transformed from sea, with the water as a fortress from the right and on the left. And the pasuk concludes the story. This is right before the shir, right before they start singing. Vayaar Yisroel, the Yisroel saw the great hand, or the great arm, of what Hashem has done in and to the Egyptians, and the nation feared, Vayiru, from the word Yira, they were in awe, they experienced fear, awe, reverence of Havaya, and they believed, Vayaminu, and they believed in Havaya and in Moshe, his servant. And then right away is Az Yasher Moshe of Bnei Yisrael Sashir Azois. This is the end of chapter 14 of Exodus, and right away begins chapter 15, Perek Tesvav, Az Yasher Moshe of Bnei Yisrael, the song of Bnei Yisrael and Moshe at this awesome moment of history. Lahavin asks the Balatanya to understand, Lama hiktim b'chinas yira l'b'chinas amuna. Why does the pasuk introduce yira before amuna? You understand the question? Anybody? Anybody understands the question? What's the question? Right. First it says Vayiru, and it's very what's bothering him? Favas nisht. What's wrong? Cha'ira, Emunah, right? An emotion of yira is already, it's an experience that I'm having vis-a-vis you. If I'm not sure that you are, I don't know who you are, or I'm not sure you exist, or I think you're completely different, so then obviously the whole emotion will be different, or there won't be an emotion b'chlal. Cha'ira, Emunah precedes it all. Emunah means awareness, some type of awareness. It's called Emunah awareness, but all Emunah is an awareness. Very important idea. The Machzor, that's the. I got it. It's all the same thing. Vayiru is garnished. Vayaminu is garnished. You finally asked a shaila. I don't mean to attack, but what's pshatak and Nasav and Nishma? Nasav and Nishma, they said by Matan Torah. After all this, Nasa v'nishma is not pshat, but how did Nasa v'nishma happen? It's not pshat. God came to the Jewish people and said, by the way, I'm a good guy, and I have a religion to give you. Do you want to take it? They said, of course, no question. Nasa v'nishma happened at Har Sinai after Yetzias Mitzrayim, after the 10 Makkos, after Kriyas Yamsuf. There was already a profound relationship. In fact, the opening before Matan Torah is one of the first words Hashem tells Moshe and Yisroel. You have seen what I did for you in Mitzrayim. I've carried you on the wings of eagles, and now I want to enter into a covenant with you. Okay. So now the Jewish people tell him, you don't have to tell us what you expect. We're in. If it's you, we're in. You understand the difference? But I have to know something about you. If I don't know anything about you, so then what type of relationship can be developed? But here it says first Vayiru. That means if there's a Vayiru, there's already some emunah. I mean, I'm experiencing something towards you. But obviously the pasuk is saying here something else, that there's a Vayaminu after Vayiru. Did I answer your question? Hineksiv Vayikra Havaya Beis Palmim. Then the answer to this is we now go to another pasuk in Parshas Kisisa, which we say every morning in the Yud Gimel Midas Harachim and the 13 attributes of compassion. Moshe says, "Show me your glory." It says Vayavar Hashem al Panav, right? Hashem passes before his face. Vayikra, and he calls out. Hashem, Kel Racham V'Chanon Erech Hapayim etc. So the expression is Vayikra, Havaya. V'Haver Hashem al Panav Vayikra. Again, we say Hashem, but the word is Yud Kevavke. Havaya. Beis Pa'amim, twice. Why twice? Why the same name twice? The question is actually asked in Masechta Rosh Hashanah, I think Daf Yud Ches. Why Havaya twice? You call somebody's name twice, either because they didn't hear you the first time, so you say it again, or emphasis, or sometimes Lashon Chiba, So it's a term of affect, but it has to be explained in Torah. Why the same word twice? Vayikra, he called out Hashem. Havaya. Moshe. Yeah. But it's a question. Because it's not the same. It's not a redundancy. The premise was that it's the same word repeated. It's not the same word. It's the same letters, but it's not the same word. What does it mean it's not the same word? There's two different concepts, two different realities when we say Havaya. Aleph, hu b'chinas Shem Havaya de Lasata. The first is in Svarim of Kabbalah, it's called Shem Havaya de Lasata and Shem Havaya de La'ela. Lasata in Aramaic means lower, and Leila is higher, like La'ela min kol berachas. Aleph, hu b'chinas Shem Havaya de Lasata. There's Shem Havaya, which is the lower Havaya. When we say lower, we don't mean that it's low, as in low. It's not lofty. Lower means that relative to the higher Shem Havaya, it's one that expresses itself in something that is more tangible. Hamahava kol ha'olam is me'ayin liyesh. There's the way we identify the word Havaya, Yud Kei Vav Kei, is also a word in Hebrew. Yehava, right? It comes from the word Hoya, Hoive, Yiyah. It's all the same etymology, which means isness. He was, Hoya, Hoive, he is, Yiyah, he will be, V'Hoya, Hashem. The word Hishavos, Mahava, it's all, Mahava means he brings into being, Hoya, he was, he is, he will be, he creates being. Isness, I-S-N-E-S-S. I know I made up a word, but I have no choice. Isness, in all forms, the past and the present and the future. It's It's that which brings forth, it brings into isness, into existence, all the worlds from nothing to something. This is Shem Havaya L'Sata, meaning it's Havaya the way he's identified and recognized via being, via existence. There is existence out there, at least so we think. There's existence in here. All olamus, which means all states of olamus, again, it says world, he uses always the word, all the worlds. So people right away, what all the worlds? All the worlds means every facet of existence. Any way you define existence is called a world. You could be 10 people sitting around the same table, they're living in 10 different worlds. We all know that. And in a very practical way. There could be 10 people sitting at an event or at a shir, or at a bar mitzvah, or at a Shavah Brachas. Each of them is living in a different world. This one is living in a very happy world. This one is living in a sad world. This one is living in an angry world. Olam is reality. It's your state of reality. Within one world, there's endless world. There's 7 billion humans. There's 7 billion worlds. And then there's also the world of the cockroach. You may not respect his world, but he also lives in a world. And in his consciousness, that's the world. You got your world, he got his world. And the verdict is not out yet, who's right, by the way. The verdict is not out. Lech al Namala. Yeah, Shlomo Malach gave good advice. Hang out with the ants. Hang out with the ants. You'll learn a lot more than sometimes when you hang out with people. You know, because they follow the program. They follow their DNA. They're not Mashiach. Right? You never heard a sheep say, I'd love to eat the ice cream, but I have a wedding next week. They have to look good in the pictures. Hay is hay. You want wheatgrass juice is wheatgrass juice. You struggle, wheatgrass juice, cheesecake, etc. Cookies, huh? Okay, that's fine, no problem. Huh? You told me about a cartoon with the whales. It's a cartoon with whales. There was a cartoon, you know how a fellow is trying to get whales to do interesting, acrobats to entertain people. So for every time the whale, jumps up and does one of its flips, they throw him a fish. Right? So, somebody told me, you have to remind me.
One dolphin says to the other dolphin.
Dolphins, yeah.
One dolphin says to the other dolphin, watch this, I got him trained and give me a fish.
Right. The dolphin tells the other dolphin, watch how I get him to give me a fish. Understand? So the person is a dolphin, he's training. So when you say kala olamus, it's not, don't see it as some mystical, strange concept. Worlds. Yeah, there are a lot of worlds. But every facet of existence, its existence can be identified as an expression of Havaya, which is the source of being, existence. So who is God? What's Havaya? What's Havaya L'Sata? God is the essence of isness. You understand why I need this word? He's the essence of whatever isness is. The perception of a cockroach, the perception of a spider, the perception of a hyena, the perception of a star, or the perception of you and I. The perception of me yesterday, the perception of me today. But perception of reality on any level, the most spiritual, the most physical, is essentially a manifestation of being, existence. There's somebody responsible for this. Now, we take this for granted. It just is. There's no is. Isness comes, everything is ayin. There's something, there's a presence, an infinite being that brings it forth liyesh. Every type of olam, every type of existence. I hope you understand what I'm saying, because these are very fundamental ideas in order to understand his Torah. You love that, right? I'm trying to make it personal. So you want to have to make it impersonal? I don't understand. I can also say, I can give you another 100 names. Kennst du reinhaken? Akudim, Nekudim, Brudim, Ak, Kav, Chut, Ein Soif, Zoh, Atik, Malchus, Lifnei, Tzimtzum, Rishimu. I mean, I know that. But every one of these names, which for most people are Chinese, really is reality. It's every one of these names is another perception of reality. You understand what I'm saying? They don't exist somewhere. You take a spaceship, yeah, and you go 100 million light years and you'll crash into Yetzirah. Then you'll do 100 billion light years, you'll crash into Bria. And then you'll do 1 zillion, 100 zillion light years and you'll crash into Atzilus and you'll melt. That's not how it works. All these olamas are here. It's states of consciousness. It's states of perception. Or to put it in the lashon of the Baal HaTanya, in Ruchnius there's no makom. It's not about a space, a physical space. It's right here. It's right here. It's not a world in spatial terms. To understand this more, let's understand the language. From nothing to something. He said that this Havaya is the essence of being, introducing the transformation from ayin to yesh. The word ayin liyesh that's always brought in Svarim, the world is created from nothing to something. L'chayda, the pasuk says, Ki mimcha hakol. It's a pasuk in Divrei Hayamim Aleph. Ki mimcha hakol, from you is everything. So what do you mean may ayin liyesh? The world wasn't created from nothing to something. It was created from you. Why are you called ayin? It seems so disrespectful even and untrue. It was created from nothing to something. Mimcha hakol, from you. Why is it called may ayin liyesh? Ach biyos, the pshat is as follows. Because when you talk about the essence of Hashem, so it has no erech. There's no erech of the olamas to him. What's pshat? There's no erech of the olamas to him. Each olam is a certain perception of reality. It's a certain way reality condenses itself in that olam. There's no erech between that olam, that way that reality is experienced. That's what a world is. A world is, again, a way of experiencing reality. Yeah. How much of atzmos, of the essence of God, of the essence of infinity is being experienced in the world, in any world? And what's the answer? The answer isn't the experience of the world. There's ein lo erech. It's not reflecting in any way, even a glimmer of that. That's why we call it Shem Havaya. Havaya is God, but there's a word for it, Havaya. For the olamas to be, they must receive their energy through Havaya. Havaya is really a metaphor. And that's what he's teaching us. All these names that we use are just language to introduce a certain concept. And the concept is to understand the limits of reality. The worlds receive their existence, meaning the fact that I perceive existence in a certain way, and I exist in a certain way, that can only happen through what's called Shem Havaya. The Hainu Aidei Tzimtzum Sho B'chinas Yud, V'achar Kach Hispashtu Zivoi V'oire B'chinas Hei. Havaya is Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey. The first step is Yud, which is a condensed letter. Yud is the smallest letter. It's like a point. All the energy, so to speak, has to be condensed into a seminal point, a Yud. But from a little tiny point, you're not going to have an expansion. So from the Yud, it becomes a Hey, which a Hey is the Ispashtus, the expansion of Zivoi V'oiroi, of his rays. Ziv is like the ray, the glimmer, and the light. B'chinas Hey. Because that's the energy that constitutes existence. The energy that constitutes existence. And again, what do I mean by existence? Existence on any level of reality can only be, we say it's from Shem Havaya. What's that from Shem Havaya? Shem Havaya means how much of atzmos, of the essence of Hashem, is being expressed and manifested in the consciousness and perception of that existence. So he says, Ein lo erech, like we say Shabbos morning, right? Ein aroich lecha. Erech means there's no erech. I don't know how to translate erech. Huh? Yeah. So the whole existence, we say, comes from Shem Havaya. What's about Shem Havaya? Shem Havaya means that the energy has to... Thank you. The energy must go through a state of Tzimtzum, What do we mean a tzimtzum? A tremendous condensing, yud, and then hey, and then vav, and then hey. And all this allows then for reality to emerge as it emerges. So what is reality receiving? It's receiving from yud kei vav kei. Tzimtzum and then hispashtus. Val zeh nemar ki hu tziva v'nivro. We say in the morning, Yahalalu Hashem Hashem, ki hu tziva v'nivro, in Tehillim, Psukei de Zimra, the end of Tehillim. They praise the Shem Havai, ki hu tziva, v'hu koyal Shem Havai, d'ksiv le'el minei, Yahalalu Hashem Hashem. V'Shem Hashem hu tziva lashon eskashras. That's the second hay. There's the hay that's an expansion of the yud, and there's the hay that's the expansion of the vav. You're asking a good question. You're asking l'may nafka mina. Why are you giving me a headache? I didn't wake up early in the morning for headaches. What's wrong? Just tell me God created the world and that's it.
It's probably important.
No, I know it's not personal, yeah. You're asking the most important question. L'may nafka mina. L'may nafka mina. What? Who needs all this information? Why?
It is attachment about it. Why do you don't even know how the computer works?
You're right, it's a good question. If you don't have to build computers, that's what he says, if you don't have to build computers and you're just a customer and you have somebody you have a good engineer in the office, you don't have to know.
What I said is, no, if you do want to know how to build a computer, so I can build a better one. But by knowing this, I'll be able to build.
You're not building a world. You're not becoming God tomorrow.
Why not? Every person is an island code.
Okay.
But not with these codes.
The Frexgit. The Frexgit. But he's asking how, what? It was noted in the proper way. It was received as it was communicated. There was no barrier. Shevat Tzimtzum, some say that. But if there was a tzimtzum between your question and my reception of it, then what would happen? There would be a breakdown in our relationship, right? You understand why it's relevant now? If there would have been a tzimtzum, you kept on justifying your question. You're not this, you're not that, it's not personal, you're not questioning, you know, and this. I got it. And if I wouldn't be able to hear your question, there would be a challenge in the relationship. MS? No? Okay, we'll still get back to it. Bli neder. Yahalalu Hashem ki hu tziva v'nivro. Who's the who? We say it every morning. Ki hu. He commanded v'nivro. And tziva is lashon eskashros. The word tziva in lashon kodesh, mitzvah, the Gemara says letzavos in brachas, letzavos lozat tzavsa v'chibur, a connection. Ki hu tziva v'nivro means tziva lashon eskashros. Not just he commanded and they were created. That's what we learn. Ki hu tziva, like abracadabra kadu, which comes from Hebrew. Evra ka'adabera, right? You knew that. Abracadabra, evra ka'adabera. V'tziva, I commanded, he commands, v'nivro, boom, abra, it gets created as he says. Tziva from the word is kashros. Ki hu tziva v'nivro. Yud Kei Vav Kei has to connect. And it's the connection with Yud Kei Vav Kei that allows the Bria. There has to be a connection. It's the connection. Ki hu tziva. Lashon is conscious. V'nivru lashon nifel. It doesn't say he commanded and he created them. They were created. V'hinei k'moshe b'b'china zu. Tzarech liyas tzimtzum v'espashtos b'chinas shem havaya. Just as here, there has to be the yud and the hey, which is a tzimtzum, a condensing, and then an expansion. Kain yesh b'chinas shem Havaya de la'ela gamken. But there's also the name Havaya, the higher Shem Havaya. And there's also Yud, b'chinas Tzimtzum, Chuli, etc. V'hu b'chinas Ratzon, Allah b'machshava, liyas Havaya de l'sata. And this is the Ratzon, the desire, that Allah b'machshava went up and thought that there should be the worlds, kamoila mashal ba'adam, like way a person should koydim shaytzim elachte mikayach alapoyel hoya davrahu mitzur b'machshavta echum malasas. Before a person actualizes his work from potentiality into action, the whole reality is first formed in his mind. How to do it and what to do. Before it's actually done, there's first the imagination in my mind of the entire project. And here too, in your mind, you must go through the process of Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey before you're actually doing the work. Not only in the actual work is there the process of Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey, but also in your imagination and preparation beforehand. The conceptualization of it. This is known as the concealed world. It's not seen, it's not visible, it's not revealed like Yud Kei Vav Kei de L'Sata, just like the conceptualization of a reality is still embedded in my own mind and nobody would know about it. It's not conspicuous because it was not actualized in the outside world. It's still in the inside world. And that's why Paroi, when he meets Moshe, his question is, Miu Havaya? Who is this Havaya? When he tells Hashem, when he says to Moshe, who is this Havaya? Who is he? He did not accept the concept of Shem Havaya de La'ela. Listen to a compliment. Ki bevadai Shem Havaya de L'Sata mahava kol ha'olam is yoda. There's no question that Paroi, the Torah is so busy with him, he understood a thing or two about Shem Havaya de L'Sata. In other words, he knew God from existence, that he had no issue with. The Shem Havaya that's mahava the olam is that he knew.
It's not the same as Shem Elokim in terms of our understanding.
Perhaps there's a similarity, but he's talking about two inyanim in Havaya itself. Havaya de Leil, Havaya de L'Sat. Ubi Yitzias Mitzrayim ksiv. By Yitzias Mitzrayim says, Vayaar Yisroel sayod ha'gdoil asher asa Havaya b'Mitzrayim. Pirush, asher asa Havaya de Le'ela. The hand that Havaya de Le'ela performed, Ayidei B'chinas Mitzrayim. Through Mitzrayim. Oh, the Leisalig Bein Nahira. The expression of the Zohar is a log that doesn't catch on fire must be splintered. What's the connection? One cannot reach and touch Havaya de Leila without Mitzrayim, without the Yad HaGdol Ashrasa b'Mitzrayim, which means moving away from Ra, which we're going to translate as toxicity or negativity, which is always a concept of bittul and tzimtzum. I have to be able to move away from something, which is always saying goodbye to something. It's nullifying something. It's a form of tzimtzum. Lav koydem lahein, the no comes before the yes. You can't say the yes before there's a no.
He said the Basham from Shevat. You have to face your fears before
Also,
you
yeah. Yudkei im shmi shin samachay. Zeh shmi la'olam v'zeh zichri l'dor v'dor shin mem yud. Right, is 350 together with Yudkei. This becomes shin samachay, which on the Shasa represents the 365 mitzvahs loisasa. Ubi sarusa de l'sata. It begins with the person's arousal. Shetzimtzum es atzmai li yisur meira. The person condenses himself to go away from Ra. In other words, I have to challenge my frivolousness. And it's always a form of tzimtzum because I have to withdraw. There's like withdrawal symptoms because all addictions are attractive. And I have to do what's called a tzimtzum. I have to like condense myself And it's hard, it's scary. Nasa la'ela b'chinas yud hu b'chinas tzimtzum. This creates above a similar reciprocity, also a yud, which is tzimtzum. My sur meira, my tzimtzum creates the same above. Ubavasei toiv shel b'chinas ispashtos. In doing good, which represents expression, k'may b'chinas tzedakah, like giving charity. Nasa la'ela b'chinas hey b'chinas ispashtos. You generate above the same reality, which is like a mirror image, which is the hey. It's a mirror of you, Hashem tzilcha, like your shadow, which is a hey, is ispashtos. So the Yad HaGdoila, Asha Asa Havaya, the Gili of Havaya de La'ela, of Yud and Hey, comes through the Mitzrayim, through the Yud within the person, which is the Tzimtzum in the person, the Sur Meirah, the stepping away, the condensing of self, of going away, the withdrawal of things that are attractive to me. I must go to a much deeper place. It's like a form of shrinking, which is what scares us, Sur Meirah, like I'm uncomfortable here. That's the Yud, and that creates a Yud above, the Gili of the Yud above of Navaya de Leila, and then there's the Hey, which is the Saita. Very, very bekitzer here, very, very brief. It's hard to understand.
Yesterday you said it's in my eyes high.
Yeah. Well, let's learn another few lines here. Yisroel ro asayad hagdoila de kriyas yamsuf. When did they see this hand? Only when the sea split. Vayasim es hayam lacharava. The sea turned into dry land. Yam hu b'chinas alma diskasir. The Yam represents the hidden world. V'chol kol masha yesh bayabosha yesh bayam. V'kol masha yesh bayam yesh bayabosha. This is a Gemara in Chuf. Gemara says, don't think that the sea or the ocean is just water. Whatever it has in dry land, you'll find under the bed of the water. And whatever is in the sea, you'll find on dry land. The difference is here it's covered, here it's not covered. Yabasha is P'chinas Alma Dizgali. Yabasha, dry land, is the revealed world, it's the sea and world. So Yam and Yabasha represent something. The Yam is the same world like the Yabasha. You go under the Yam, you go scuba diving, the snorkeling, you'll see how many types of creatures, animals, and of course fish, and plants, and shrubs. It's a whole universe. And we still don't know much of that universe. I believe I once read that there's 2 million creatures that live underwater that we have no idea about in terms of studying who they are, their chemistry, their nature. 2 million different types, different species that we still have not dealt with. It's an endless world, And most of our planet is made up of water, more than Yabash, I think 71% or so. Right? Huh? 71%. Okay. But you look at it, what do you see? Only water. Where is the action? The action is teeming under the water. It's all concealed. On the outside, all you see is just one uniform bed of water. Yabasha is not like that. Dry land, you right away see the diversity. You look around, there's different peoples, different creatures, different animals, different plants. There's diamond, Shemeh, Chaim, David, heaven, earth. All of its uniqueness and diversity. This is a mashal, it's a metaphor for the spiritual difference of Alma Diskasya and Alma Dizgal. Alma Diskasya is the hidden world. You don't see what's under it. Alma Dizgalia is the expression. Well, Tanya said before, there is how my life is actualized in the vivid reality for me and others to see, but there is the way it's still conceptualized inside. And before it comes out, it first is inside. Alma Diskasya. There's no actualization without conceptualization. Now that may happen very fast in your life. But there's always all reality that anything I do or say or I'm involved in follows a certain conceptualization of reality and of myself that I then follow in Talmud Dizgal. When they saw that Hashem transformed the sea into dry land and he took the Yam, and suddenly the Yam parts. And what is it? It's Yabosh. And he says, there was no moisture left. What does he mean by this? In one of the Dayenos it says, Ilu heviranu esayam, Ilu karalanu esayam, v'loy heviranu b'soichoi, becherova. He could have split the Yam, but not have us pass in dryness. Could have been a little muddy, right? But no, heviranu esayam becherova. There was no lachluchis. It was mamish like a beautiful,
Highway.
huh?
Like a highway.
A highway. No bumps, no dents, no mud, garnished. That's what Blishum Lachluchas. B'chinas yikavu hamayim v'sara hayabosha. This is a reenactment of day 2 of creation. I'm sorry, day 3 of creation. What happens on day 3? Everything is water. He says, yikavu hamayim, let the waters gather and let dry land emerge. Kriyas Yamsuf was a reenactment of day 3. These are no small words, because everybody knows the Medrash. That when the Jews, when you passed the Yamsuf, right, and your baby started to cry, because he didn't like this highway. So what you do? You said, oh, there's a fig. You took off a fig, and you took off an apple, you took off an apple. You all know the Medrash, Kriyas Yamsuf was filled with trees and fruits. It's not just God split the sea. He also created a botanical garden. So the question is like, where did the Chazal get this from? What's bothering them? It's all. The moment you understand it's a reenactment of day 3, what happens on day 3 of creation, right? Dry land emerges, and what's the next scene, day 3? So this is a reenactment of that. That's what he's saying. We'll soon see the relevance of this. When they saw that, you know what happens? Ha'eminu b'havaya. They had an emunah in Havaya. What's an emunah in Havaya? Sheyach Elias is galus p'chinas Havaya de le'ela shel p'chinas alma d'eskasya. They realized that the Yam can open up. What pshat kriyas Yamsuf, the Yam becomes dry land. It's not just a physical phenomenon. It's much more than that. It's that alma d'eskasya can be experienced in alma d'esgalia. Havaya de le'ela, the higher Avaya, which is called Alma Iskasya, can emerge in the consciousness of Shem Avaya de Lasata, which is Alma Isgalia. That's what happens. Because the Yam parts and it becomes dry land, and it's completely dry. And what's dry land? Dry land is the open world, where the invisible suddenly becomes visible. That which is concealed underwater is now open. It's all open. This meant something, the Kriyas Yamsuf, in other words, he's saying, wasn't like everything. Kriyas Yamsuf was a shear. Kriyas Yamsuf was a maimer. Kriyas Yamsuf was Kriyas Yamsuf. Kriyas Yamsuf was, they were taught something. The Torah, the way the Torah speaks about ideas is through stories. It's the story, they split the sea. Splitting the sea is an inner experience. Of course, there's the physical experience. But there was a lesson, there was an experience they had. It was almost like God gave them a lecture or opened up their minds to a new concept in reality. What's this new concept in reality? That Alma de Iskasya doesn't have to remain invisible. It can be revealed.
It was also,
Like the day 2 of creation in the beginning of time.
it was the Bnei Yisroel were experiencing the Bria.
Yeah.
It was, they
The Yam becoming Yabash.
saw Bereshis.
Yeah. Vizeu.
Actually, it's much simpler. It's he brought them to the Sea World. Put the highway, put the aquarium on both sides. Now they see
The whole inner world.
whales and
Yeah.
sharks and everything.
They are in the depths of the aquarium they are amphibious. They become amphibious creatures, like the fish. V'zeu vayiru ames Hashem vayaminu ba'avaya. Now you have to understand the pasuk this way. Vayiru es havaya hainu havaya de l'sata alma d'izgalia. They feared havaya. What's that? The lower havaya. The revealed what shall be b'chinas hasaga. Here there is comprehension. V'shayich by loshin yira. There could be a concept of yira. What do I mean yira? Yira is boishas. A sense of awe, of shame, of respect, of reverence. K'mashal arayas hamelech. Somebody sees the king, and the glory, the greatness causes the person a certain sense of reverence, loses himself. That's what Parshas means. It's like you feel inadequate, you feel ashamed. In a very positive sense. It's like you lose yourself in the experience. That's where? That's only Shem Havaya de Lasata. Vayiru. The idea could be Yira. Vayaminu ba'Havaya hu Havaya de La'ela. Alma de Iskasya. She'eno niru musig. Not seen and comprehended. V'lo shayach b'pchidas Yira ki Emunah. The word Yira can't apply here. Only Emunah. So he asked, how can Emunah come after Yira? Emunah comes before Yira. This is Vayaminu ba'Havaya, Havaya de La'ela. After Kriyas Yamsuf, there was a year of Havaya de Lasata, which brought to Vayaminu of Havaya de La'ela.
Was your shir, therefore, was the experience, the instantaneous
The
response?
Shira
And
to the
the
Emunah of Havaya de La'ela.
Wow. That's good.
You understand this? You believe it?
Emunah.
Emunah. What does even Emunah mean? This Emunah can only come after Yira. This Emunah can only come after Yira. Havaya de La'ela, Alma discuss. I have to just bring it down a little bit. I'm just like Tzimtzum there. And if Nuchem wants to know L'may nafka mina, let the sea not split. Let the sea not split. I'm fine with the sea being a sea. We'll go to the beach and look at it. We'll take a cruise. What do we need the sea to split? MS. Tagit the kasha. Chablib the kashas.
The cruise is not practical. Cruise is not practical. I have 600,000 men. Cruise take 2,000 people.
You say Kriyas Yamsuf was much more practical.
Much more practical. Much more practical.
The Le'ela is the experience of the neshama in the connection with Hashem. And
Yeah, you feel
lower is the guf in its reality here. Is that a correct analogy?
Okay, we'll continue tomorrow.
Pharaoh said, I don't know about it.
Lo yadati es Havaya. V'gam es b'nei Yisroel lo yashaleya. So he says, what's lo yadati es Havaya?
You don't know the higher.
Havaya de La'ela. Havaya de Lasata. He says, who doesn't know? That's straight up. Look at DNA. Look at the DNA. You don't know Havaya de Lasata? It's not the deal. You don't know Havaya de Lasata. Take a look at the world. What do you have? Sugar in it? Complete denial. Can't conceive a person doesn't know Havaya de Lasata.
Pharaoh's experience was only part of real.
He can only experience a God creation. It's a big compliment he's giving Pada here. Pada is his Pada is
He was a cheap silicon valve. Today he would be a stick on the couple.
what he's describing as Paris consciousness is for some people the highest level of consciousness.
Chief scientist.
He knows God from the world. Wow.
It's interesting how Vayaar, which is imagination, is also a creation. It's not just.
It's also Havaya. It's also Yud Kei.
This class is brought to you by theyeshiva.net. Please help us continue the classes. Make even a small contribution at www.theyeshiva.net/donate.